Hello FPL managers and welcome back for another video. My name's Jack and today I'm talking about the knee-jerk reaction coming into Game Week 21. If you guys are looking forward to some more FPL videos, drop a like and subscribe as it really does help out the channel, and there's going to be lots more FPL videos coming your guys' way shortly, so make sure that notification bell's turned on, and with that being said, let's jump into the video. So in today's video, I'm going to look over the most transferred in and transferred out players so far this game week and give you guys a recommendation as to whether or not you should go with the crowd and bring these players into your teams or release them from your squads, as so many managers have already done so coming to Game Week 21. Let's first of all have a look at the most transferred in players. The first one here is Toney. He's been the most popular player to join the squads ahead of Game Week 21. And is with good reason, as he looks to be good to play for Brentford for his very good upcoming fixture schedule run, and after coming off a goal in Game Week 20 and triple bonus points as well, he's looking to be a prime forward asset to target, especially since a lot of people did have Mitrovic, whose fixtures have taken a slight turn for the worse, as Fulham's fixtures across the next 4 to 5 weeks aren't the most favourable. Whereas Brentford's fixtures, despite starting a little bit worse since the return of the Premier League season, are now going to improve quite dramatically. Obviously, they face Bournemouth in Game Week 20, and as we look at Toney later on in the video, he's got some good fixtures coming up in Game Weeks 21 and onwards, where I definitely would expect him to score very well across his next 5 to 6 games. Marcus Rashford, obviously another very popular transfer in. He's already in over 40% of managers' squads, and more managers just flock to get him in, as he's been absolutely excellent for Manchester United. He's got himself 4 goals in his last 4 matches, or got himself a goal every game, should I say, in the last 4 matches since the return of the Premier League season for Manchester United. Plus, has been able to pick up goals in cup games as well. So after coming off 10 points in his first match of his double game week in Game Week 20, he's going to be looking to build on this form in Game Week 21. And at around £7 million, he looks to be an excellent value option right now, just considering how good a form that he's been in. And I think if you're just looking to base it off form, Rashford is probably the best player in the Premier League right now in terms of goal scoring. So a big option that you want to target for in midfield, especially since he is so much cheaper and outscoring so many of the other higher score or higher price midfielders, as a lot of those premium midfielders haven't been firing since the return of the Premier League campaign, whereas Marcus Rashford has proved to be very good value at around 7 million, and he's still got a couple of good fixtures coming up for Manchester United, so a good chance to jump on at Marcus Rashford there as well. And Solly March, he's coming off a massive 19-point haul in Brighton's 3-0 win over Liverpool. March had a hand in all of Brighton's goals with 2 goals and 1 assist. Obviously picked up triple bonus points as well, and he's definitely a player that I'd be keen to take a look at as well. We actually talk about March later on in the video in the watch list section, so definitely stay tuned for that, as there is a couple of key talking points with March that I want to go over, and he is looking to be a very nice value option at just £5 million in midfield right now. That is a massive budget enabler, and a player that's been in absolutely excellent form for Brighton recently. He's actually produced 3 double-digit hauls in his last 4 matches for Brighton, so for a player of just £5 million, a great chance to jump on him in midfield. Such a cheap option, a great budget enabler, and Brighton do have some very good fixtures coming up, so I'm definitely not opposed to a March transfer into the side. Let's have a look at the most transferred out players now. Trossard does feature here. Obviously, he's flagged right now by FPL. Didn't play in Game Week 20, and is clearly a good transfer out, as he could be out for a bit for Brighton. And even looking at the Brighton's assets in the same team, Mitoma and March, 2 players in the midfield that have been firing for Brighton recently. And there is a couple of other decent midfield options around Trossard's price, such as Marcus Rashford, a little bit more expensive, that are definitely a lot better options than Trossard. So definitely a player to get rid of out of the squad. Darwin Núñez did miss Game Week 20 with Liverpool as well, as he looks to have picked up an injury there, so he might be out for a bit for Liverpool. Just waiting on more injury news on Darwin Núñez, and I think he is a good transfer out. We luckily got him out ahead of Game Week 20 in place of Harry Kane. And I just don't think Darwin Núñez is a good FPL asset, even when he is fit to play. Yes, he gets lots of chances, but he's just not been able to convert them. And for a player of around £9 million in FPL right now in the forward line, especially considering how many other good forward options there are, whether that's Toney, Kane or Haaland, I think Darwin Núñez just doesn't fit into the best 3 forwards right now, so I would be looking to get rid of him, and I don't recommend anyone to have him in their teams. Mo Salah as well, another heavily transferred Liverpool asset who has frustrated a lot of his owners since the return of the Premier League campaign. Personally, we did get rid of Salah as well ahead of Game Week 20, which was quite fortunate as Liverpool were very disappointing in their match away to Brighton. Salah only got the 2 points there. We did switch Salah to De Bruyne in our team, who was able to produce an assist in his first fixture of the double game week. And if you are looking for a better premium midfielder than Mo Salah, I would look no further than Kevin De Bruyne. So after coming off an assist in his most recent match, he's still got good fixtures coming up as well. He's got a double game week coming up, plus he's got Wolves at home in game week 21, which is a team that he historically does very well against in the past. I'm sure we can all remember just recently where Kevin De Bruyne put a massive amount of points up on the board against Wolves in a huge haul for Kevin De Bruyne last season. He was absolutely excellent in that fixture, so potentially Salah to De Bruyne could be the move if you have a Salah in the team right now. As personally, I just don't think he's worth the price tag, and considering that Man City do have that double game week coming up, perhaps De Bruyne could be the better option. So with all these popular transfers in mind, let's have a look at our Game Week 21 transfer watch list. As you can see here, a lot of players here are in the midfield, so there is definitely a lot of good mid-price midfield options right now, and even budget midfield options that I do want to discuss, as I'm sure a lot of managers will look to get the better value players into the team, which allows more money to be spent around the rest of the squad. The first one here is Solly March. We did touch on him earlier in the video. He could be an absolutely excellent value option to have in the side for Brighton, as Brighton fixtures coming up are very strong. Leicester away definitely isn't the hardest fixture, especially considering how poor Leicester's defence has been since the return of the Premier League season. Yes, they were very good before the World Cup break, but in their last 4 matches, they've really struggled defensively, conceding a lot of good quality chances to opposition. So I think Solly March, after coming off 3 double-digit hauls in his last 4 matches, putting up an absolutely monstrous amount of points across his last 4 games, could be a very good option at just 5 million for Brighton in the midfield. And if you do have Andreas Pereira, maybe you want to upgrade him and you only need an extra 0.4, March is definitely a very affordable player. Or if you do want to drop another midfielder down to March at just 5, which allows you to upgrade another player in the team, that is definitely an option worthwhile exploring. So for me, March looks to be a superb value midfield option. The only question with him was whether he could continue to replicate these performances, and it just looks to be on a massive hot streak right now. He's putting in a massive amount of goals right now for Brighton. He's increased his tally to 4 goals and 6 assists on the season, the majority of which have come in his last 4 games. So a player in great form with good fixtures coming up at a good price could be a nice option to have in the team. Odegaard is another player as well in the midfield that looks to be a nice budget enabler. His price is at 6.7 right now and has an ownership of about 25%. He's expected to score very well across his next 6 games with 33.4 predicted points, which is the 3rd highest out of any player on this watch list here. Obviously, Arsenal do have that double game week coming up in game week 23, so Odegaard could haul in this game week. Plus, Arsenal do have good fixtures around that double game week as well. Manchester United at home is the next fixture in game week 21. Not the easiest fixture itself, but then he does have a good fixture in game week 22, then the double in game week 23, so it could be a nice chance to jump on those Arsenal assets early, as I'm sure they will appreciate in value. Rodrigo, despite not scoring game week 20 as well, another player that I do want to discuss here, as at 6.4, could also be another good mid-price midfielder option, as we do seem to be sport with quite a lot of good mid-price midfielder picks right now in FPL. Rodrigo has some excellent fixtures coming up for Leeds. He's got Brentford at home in game week 21, which is definitely a very good fixture, and Rodrigo is definitely unlucky not to have any returns in game week 20, as he'd have a 1-on-1 chance cleared off the line by an Aston Villa defender, and also scored an offside goal for Leeds in their fixture against Aston Villa. So definitely unfortunate not to get on the score sheet there for them, but of course he's getting into some good positions for Leeds, getting good chances, and that's the main thing. He's also been very good so far this year for Leeds, and he seemed to have recaptured that form recently, especially after coming off a goal in game week 19. Looked threatening again in game week 20, so hopefully game week 21 onwards is where he can really start putting those points on the board like he showed earlier on in the season. Bukayo Saka as well, continuing with that Arsenal trend, a player definitely worthwhile looking at. His ownership isn't very high right now, actually less than 20% or around 20% at the minute. As we touched on with Odegaard, they have the double game coming up in 23, which is definitely one worthwhile targeting. And Saka does have the second highest predicted points across the next 6 of any player on this watch list with 34.3. So definitely a player worth considering at a little bit more expensive compared to a couple of these other midfield options on the list right now, but a player still worth the money in my opinion. Mitoma, another player for Brighton that I wanted to discuss. Yes, Solly March has been good, providing double-digit hauls in 3 out of his last 4, but Mitoma as well has provided a return in each of his last 3 for Brighton, with 2 goals and an assist across his last 3 games for them. He is a little bit cheaper than March at 4.9, and another very solid budget enabler in the midfield. He actually does have higher predicted points than March across the next 6 game weeks, and also in game week 21 as well, with 3.7 predicted points in game week 21 and 23.8 across the next 6 compared to March with 22.1. So perhaps Mitoma could also be another good option to target, as he's a player in very good form with good fixtures and a massive differential as well, which could allow your FPL rank to rise, and at just 0.3 more expensive than Andreas Pereira, could be a player worthwhile targeting as well, just considering how good a form he's been in. Harry Kane as well, always a player that remains on the watch list at 11.7, my second favourite premium option on FPL right now, and honestly could prove to be one of the better premium options, or even the best premium asset to have across the second half of the Premier League season, as Erling Haaland has seen a slight dip in form across his last 4 games since the return of the Premier League campaign, whereas Harry Kane has been firing on all cylinders. He's got a double game week this week, plus some good fixtures coming up with Fulham away in 21, and I'm excited to see how he can perform across the remainder of the season, and whether he can catch Erling Haaland for points over this time. Kevin De Bruyne, as we touched on earlier on in the video, if you're looking to get rid of Salah, I think De Bruyne is the best replacement at 12.5. He's got Wolves in game week 21, which is a team that he does extremely well against in the past. He has a massive predicted points across the next 6 with 37.7. And of course, outside of this Wolves fixture in game week 21, which he does very well against, a team he does very well against, he's got that double game week coming up as well for Man City, which is going to allow him for those extra chance of returns there as well. So I do think De Bruyne is one of the better midfield options that I look to have in the team right now, and a player that I'm very happy to have in my squad as well. Ivan Toney, as we touched on, is already a very popular transfer in as well, and I would recommend him going into your sides. If you've got Mitrovic in the team, I think Toney could be a great replacement. Unfortunately for us, we did get rid of Mitrovic for Martial this week, who did have that double game week. Unfortunately, couldn't provide anything in the first fixture, coming off after 45 minutes. But if we can free up some funds, Toney is definitely a player that I'd be looking to get in my team as well, as his expected goals figure is actually the second highest in the Premier League, only behind Erling Haaland, and for a player of 7.5, to have this massive XG figure is awesome. It's great value, and he's got good fixtures coming up. Leeds away up next in 21, which is a great chance for more goals, as Leeds are a side that have struggled defensively this year. He's expected to score well in this game as well, 5.2 predicted points, which is a figure which ranks third highest for game week 21 out of any player on this watch list. So for me, a massive chance to jump on Ivan Toney right now, considering how good his form, fixtures, and underlying numbers are. Thanks for watching our knee-jerk reaction for Game Week 21. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it useful, as we did discuss a couple more differential players in this one. And if you guys are liking the FPL content, drop a like and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. And click that notification bell to stay up to date with all of the recent uploads, as of course there's going to be lots more FPL content coming your guys' way shortly. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.